first thing that I will distribute my money to is I think that having a manual tracker is very important because it keeps you accountable and aware of your personal finances. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you don't know me, I'm Jules. I'm 24 years old and I make content surrounding personal finance, lifestyle, travel, and beauty related content. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how I organize my personal finances. So just a little bit about me. Like I said, I'm currently 24 years old. I live in San Diego, California. I work a corporate 9-to-5 in beauty marketing, and I currently live at home with my parents, so I'm definitely able to save a lot of money on not paying for rent, but I do anticipate that I will be moving out in 2025. Jumping right in on how I organize my personal finances. Number one is I track all my spending in a budget tracker. I personally use a CoPlenty budget tracker to manually track all my expenses. This allows you to track your expenses by month, and then it also will give you a yearly overview at the end of the year, so I think that's really helpful. I'm currently in the process of working on my own budget tracker that includes this, as well as a net worth tracker at the end of it as well that I can use for future use. So look out for that in the coming months. But I think that having a manual tracker is very important because it keeps you accountable and aware of your personal finances. But I know if you don't want to do this manually, you can also use apps such as YNAB or Mint, and you basically just connect your app to your accounts and it will manually input all the info from your accounts into the app and it'll show you your spending that way. So if you don't want to manually track it, that is another way. This is like the foundation for me, is being able to track my income and expenses and make sure I know where everything is flowing from. Number two is just having a checkings account. And so basically, like I said, I work at corporate 9-to-5. And so my paychecks, I get paid bi-weekly. That flows into my main checking account. And this checking account is basically where everything flows into and from. So I will get money sent into this checking account, whether it is my main source of income, which is my paycheck, or if it's someone Venmoing me money or Zelling me money, anything like that, it gets put into this checkings account, and then that is where I will distribute it from there. The first thing that I will distribute my money to is paying off my credit card balances. I do this twice a month. I know that you don't have to do that, but I like to have my credit card balances as low to zero as possible. After I get paid from my paychecks, which is bi-weekly, I will pay off any balances I have on my credit cards. After that, I will put money into a high yield savings account. And so I have two high yield savings accounts. One is Marcus by Goldman Sachs and the other is Ally Bank. I use Marcus by Goldman Sachs for my emergency fund, and then Ally Bank is more so my short-term savings. So I like Ally Bank's interface because within your one account you can have multiple buckets, and so I currently have like 6 or 7 buckets for different things that I want to spend for. So for example, I have one that's for this European winter trip that I'm on right now, visiting my sister, and then I have another one for a trip coming up next month for Australia, and then I have a couple more. Like for example, I want to watch one of the World Cup games in 2026, so I have a bucket dedicated to that. I'm going to start putting money into that savings bucket this year. So I like to use Ally Bank for that, for short-term savings, and then my Marcus account, it just stays the same. It's for my emergency fund. So I will put a couple $100s each month, kind of depending on what my goals are for the month, into these high yield savings accounts. I should say, before I even get my paycheck, I get money taken out of my pay to go towards my retirement. So before I even get my paycheck, so I have 4 things taken out of my paycheck before I even see it. So one is taxes, of course, 2 is my health insurance, and then these last 2 are for my personal finances. So the third thing is my Roth 401k account. I contribute up to the company's match, and then I put this into the retirement account that my employer offers, and this is taken out of my paycheck. And then the last is my company stock options. I'm able to buy stock at a discounted rate through my company, so there's a little bit of money taken out of my paycheck to go towards that as well. So those are the 4 things that are taken out of my paycheck before I even see it. And so once those 4 things are taken out, then the final amount is what gets sent into my checkings account. And so all 4 of those things are automatic. Each paycheck, these things get taken out. So after I put money towards my credit card balances, my high yield savings account, I then put money towards my Roth IRA. I currently have a Roth IRA through Vanguard, and I tried to contribute the full $7,000 amount. This year just started, so I'm able to contribute like up to $7,000 towards this account. This is an account where you put your after-tax dollars into it, and then once you're in your 60s and you want to retire, you can take this money out tax-free. So there is a limit. You can only do $7,000 a year, but I've tried to contribute as much as I can into this account. That way, once I'm able to retire, I will have a good chunk of money to be able to retire. I'm trying to contribute as much as I can towards this in Q1. That way I can just check this off the list and go on to the next thing. I don't like to put my money in like 6 different places all at once. I like to pretty much focus on 1 to 3 goals and hone in and complete those goals and then move on to the next goals, because I feel like it's more effective, and I just like to check things off and then go on to the next thing. So then, like I said, once I complete this goal of contributing the max to my Roth IRA account, I will then move on to putting money towards my brokerage account. And so I have a brokerage account through Charles Schwab, but I am looking to get a different account, maybe through Vanguard. I have to look into that, but that is in a few months once I contribute to my Roth IRA. But once I contribute to my Roth IRA, I will then start contributing money towards my brokerage account. I don't have too much money in this account right now just because it hasn't been a priority in the past, but I do want to focus on this in 2025 as I'm looking to start accumulating money to eventually buy a car and a house in the next 10 years or so. I currently have a car since 2017. It's a Honda Civic, so I don't anticipate that I'll be needing a car anytime soon. So that's why I'm kind of saying 10-year mark. And even then, I'm sure my car will still work. So this is how I organize my personal finances. I usually like to keep a $200 to $300 buffer in my checkings account just in case I need to Venmo or Zelle someone something, or something comes up that I wasn't aware of. I like to just keep a small buffer into my checkings account. That way I have some money in my account if I need it. Other than that, there's some smaller bills that get taken out directly out of my checkings account without me paying for it on credit, such as like my Verizon bill, my car insurance bill. Those things get directly taken out of my checkings account. I don't put them on my credit cards, but for the most part, I do put things on credit cards because I like to get the points to travel for it, and I know that I pay them off at the end of the month. But if you aren't able to do that, I would suggest using debit cards instead of credit cards, because that can be a slippery slope if you don't know how to use credit cards properly. So that is how I organize my personal finances and where money flows from where each month. If you have a similar setup, let me know in the comments, or if there's something I should add to this list, let me know. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content from me, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye.